All right, so boom. 183 of you reached out to me to ask, what are my thoughts on the running back situation in the NFL right now as it pertains to them not being paid by their respective squads, despite the fact that you have all pros, multiple Pro Bowls, happen to be the bulk load of the offense. For whatever reason, the running back position is not getting its respect. And there was a graphic that went up that said, on average, throughout the NFL, kickers are making more than running backs. Let's first break everything down. First and foremost, that's not the case as it pertains to starting running backs versus kickers, because let's keep it real. You don't have squads that has multiple kickers on the roster. If you happen to have a squad that has multiple kickers, it's probably one or two, and there's a technicality to that to where the punter somehow is still also operating as a kicker as well. And it's a very rare situation. So primarily in the NFL, you got 32 kickers in contrast to teams carrying 3, 4 running backs, sometimes 5 if you include the practice squad, right? Then consider where running backs rank as it pertains to Super Bowl champions over the course of the past decade or so and a half, right? You look 15 years down the line, you don't got running backs that are amongst the top of the league that lead to Super Bowl championship teams, despite the fact that the running game is integral in winning those Super Bowl championships. So they're not going to pay that position, because take a look at the average of the life of a running back in the NFL. You've got what, maybe 2, 3, 4 years, probably between the 3 to 4 year range, right? And then consider how valuable running backs are after they turn the ripe age of 30. How many running backs have been named first team All-Pro after turning 30? Adrian Peterson, that's the list. All time NFL history. That's the list.
And now a word from our sponsors.
Fellas, the spring is in the rear view and Manscaped is here to help you get right, because it's a smooth sack summer. Manscaped's Ultra Smooth package is here to ensure that you've got a smooth sack summer this year. This kit involves an easy 3-step shaving system to help you buff, protect, and smooth your most sensitive areas with confidence. The Crop Exfoliator, Crop Gel, and Crop Shaver is here to make sure that you're well groomed this summer. We all know man maintenance is key, and so is the follow through. The Ultra Smooth package comes with 5 replacement braids for your crop shaver and a convenient storage case for easy travel. And where am I going this summer without my Manscaped boxes? I need it! I need it! There's 6 different color combinations to choose from, suited for business and for pleasure. These anti-chafing smooth boxer briefs were made with flat lock seams, so the boxers are not only comfortable and supportive, but they feel like a second skin. And just like that, it's a smooth sack summer. So what are you waiting for? Click the link in my description right now. Go to manscaped.com/chiseled to get 20% off plus free international shipping. That's manscaped.com/chiseled. Get 20% off plus free international shipping only at manscaped.com. Your balls will thank you.
And now back to your regularly scheduled program.
Am I saying that they're not valuable? No. Am I saying that they should not be paid? No. But do the owners have an argument? Do the teams have an argument? Yes. However, let me defend the running backs real quick, because let's take Saquon Barkley, if you will. You mean to tell me Daniel Jones can get paid, but Saquon can't? I think that's crazy. You mean to tell me Dalvin Cook still isn't signed, but you have countless rotational bench-worthy wide receivers that got contracts? I think that's also ridiculous. You have somebody like Christian McCaffrey, who went from Carolina over to San Francisco, and say what you will about a squad that had countless quarterback injuries, losing Trey Lance, losing Jimmy Garoppolo, having to have an unknown Brock Purdy appear to be the one who carried them to an NFC championship, when in fact it was the defense, and on offense primarily it was Christian McCaffrey. I know Deebo Samuel, George Kittle, but really, take a look at the numbers since the man arrived up until the NFC Championship. Primarily, that offense was ran through who? Christian McCaffrey, and somehow still, we have countless different running backs who happen to carry the workload of their squads, and not only are stars unsigned, but many different stars are not getting the contracts that they not deserve, but have since earned. So I think both sides have a legitimate argument. Now, I did see that the more veteran running backs are now coming together to form, I don't want to say committee, but some form of group to where they'll probably figure out different ways that they can, in unison, hold out to maybe reset the market. Ultimately, I don't think this is something that's going to end up working in their favor because, let's be honest, despite the fact that you have a number of different generational talents that'll come along, through different drafts, or maybe sometimes you can have an undrafted guy who goes to the right team and then can make a little bit of noise. But truly, because you have a college system that's pumping out running backs left and right, all it takes is the right system for certain players to go and excel. For example, Pacheco last postseason with the Chiefs, right? You had Clyde Edwards-Helaire doing what he had to do. Then Mans got hurt. All of a sudden, this 7th round dude, plug him in, and he played a large role in the championship run for the Kansas City Chiefs. And everybody's sitting there like, well, that's a 7th round guy. If we happen to run the right kind of offense and we plug in a guy who fits into our system, maybe we can see the same success, says multiple different particular kinds of squads. Take a look at teams that happen to have high paid running backs. Where do they end up at the end of every single season? Are they hoisting up Lombardi trophies? That doesn't seem to be the case. But ultimately, here's what I think that the league should do. For one, running backs that have since produced for their squads, they should be paid. Give them a good second contract. Am I saying pay them $15 million per year, or whatever the case may be, if they've been a multiple-time All-Pro, if they've been a multiple-time Pro Bowler, and moreover, if they happen to carry a bulk share of your offense, fucking pay them. Because it doesn't make sense to not pay them. However, if you think you can be what's considered average and get a second contract, methinks not. I think those who perform at an incredibly high level should be compensated by the squads that they happen to perform for, and moreover, from other squads who are willing to pay. But if you're somebody who isn't really doing too much, oh, well, I only got about 600, 700 yards. And let me explain something. It's not easy to get that amount of yardages in the NFL. Please do not misunderstand what it is that I'm saying. But if you're somebody who is not completely stand out, then no, I don't think you should be, second contract poppy from the same particular kind of squad. You could go get money somewhere else. Because when you take a look across the offensive positions, quarterback, of course, is going to be paid the most. Left tackle has now, because of Lawrence Taylor, left tackle has become the second highest paid position. Then you have your wide receivers, then you have your centers, other individuals who happen to be on the line. In fact, I believe tight end comes in after center, so it should be quarterback, left tackle, wide receiver, center, tight end, and then it varies. Sometimes guard could be in there. Somebody let it be known in the comment section where the pecking order on contracts just so happen to be. But I know it's quarterback, left tackle is 1, 2, and then ultimately I believe wide receiver is 3. Running back gets the short end of the stick because take a look across the past 15 years, like I stated before, you happen to have a bunch of different particular starting running backs. Let's go backwards. You have Pacheco, that was a starting running back for this past champion Kansas City Chiefs. The year before that, who won in 2020 with the Rams? You had Cam Akers and Sony Michel. Then you go before that. Was it Sony Michel? I forget. Then you go a year before that when the Bucks done won. It was Leonard Fournette and Ronald Jones. Then the year before that, 2019, it was who was the starting running back when the Chiefs won? Was it LaShawn McCoy? And there was somebody else who just so happened to be there as well. Then you go another year prior to that, 2018. Who won in 2018? The Patriots. Who was the starting running back? Was it? I forget who it was. The year before that, you had the trio when the Eagles had won. You had Corey Clement, you had LeGarrette Blount, and there was one other individual, Jay Ajayi, who was there. 2016, then it was the Patriots. Again, who was the starting running back there? LeGarrette Blount. And who else was on that squad? James White. Then 2015 with the Broncos, you had the pair of Ronnie Hillman and C.J. Anderson. You go the year before that, LeGarrette Blount came on later on in the year after leaving Pittsburgh, and I believe there was another individual who just so happened to be the running back. Go to 2013 with the Seattle Seahawks. Well, of course, Marshawn Lynch, that's a different particular kind of situation. 2012, and so on and so forth. You could keep naming off to where primarily the running backs is more by committee. Despite the fact that you have a lot of effective backs that are in the league, you have to take into account the owners are probably looking at the analytics, they're looking at the statistics, and that's what makes their argument. So overall, my take is both sides have an argument. But if you pass the eye test, this is what I ultimately think it is. If you pass the eye test and you've been dominant at your position over the course of the past years, pay the motherfucker. For example, Dalvin Cook, this is my closing point. Dalvin Cook should be employed and paid amongst the best in the league. Makes no sense why that man is currently without a job. Somebody like a Saquon Barkley, despite the fact that he had injury problems before, he came back like a phoenix, and without him, New York not only does not win a playoff game, they probably don't even make it to the playoffs. Christian McCaffrey, if he doesn't make it to San Francisco, they're not in the NFC Championship, despite, the great play of a Deebo Samuel, your Nick Bosa's on defense, your George Kittle's on offense, and the countless different rotational quarterbacks from a Trey Lance to a Jimmy Garoppolo to a Brock Purdy. I don't want to mention Josh Johnson because he only came in for a couple of plays and got hurt himself. But one way or another, the running backs who have showed that they are valuable, pay them. The other individuals who happen to be, a regular run-of-the-mill type situation, for those, you can continue to do whatever the fuck it is that you want to do. But let me know in the comment section what you guys think about what's going on in the running back market. Do you think the running backs have a legitimate argument? Do you think the owners and the GMs and the different organizations have an argument for not wanting to pay these guys? Let it be known which side that you happen to back, or if you're like me, which understands both sides and truly believes that there are some that should be paid and others where you kind of understand. I'm interested in seeing the dialogue down in the comment section. Let me know what your thoughts are.